A very good morning to you, right here from East Africa, Uganda, Kokonjeru, and Florida Cricket Oval. It is match day number 14. It is the SABULA T20 Cricket Challenge, and we will have the toss from the middle.
Ssenyi Warriors and the Nsonga Royals. I have Asuku Jackson, the captain for Ssenyi. I have Ochen Peter, the captain for Nsonga, and the match umpire Nalumas Rest Day. We've come here for the toss. Heads is the call, and heads is on top. Peter, come through. You've won the toss. What are you going to be doing first and why?
Yeah, we are going to bowl first as we played yesterday, because in the morning there's dew on the field, and it helps us create chances and put a chaseable score so that we win the game.
Which total are you looking at as a chaseable score?
Same total like yesterday, like below 115, as we look forward to chase it.
Thank you and all the best.
Thank you.
Jackson, if you had gotten a chance of winning the toss, what are you going to do first and why?
Obviously, I wanted to bat first. It was just smoothly like that's just that. Yeah, just went like the way I wanted everything to go just smoothly. So I'm happy for what he decided, and I'm happy for our decision.
So which total are you looking at going into the game?
I want to score like 150. But this team.
All the best. That is the news coming from the center. The Nsonga Royals have won the toss and opted to bowl first.
We are right down to the business end of this SABULA T20 Cricket Challenge 2026. The men in teal, or light green, you would say, are out in the middle, having won the toss and elected to bowl first. The Warriors will be asked to put up a total. This tournament proudly brought to you by Kingsley Children's Medical Center in Mukono Cricket Community as organizers, Deep End Sports Media as the streaming and broadcasting partners, and of course overseen by Cricket Uganda. Tournament being played over a double round robin format, and positions now almost finalized in this tournament. But first we will have this encounter between the Warriors and the Royals. The Royals certainly coming off that loss yesterday, have some personnel changes, but they are not alone in this, because players from the Uganda emerging side and under 19s being taken away for national duty. So there's been a serious shortfall in the experienced ranks of the teams, but they have managed to navigate that well. Live action will be coming up from the middle.
Thank you so much, Solomon. I'm happy to be here. It's another exciting day of cricket. Our Muslim brothers are already in excitement because tomorrow is the day when we'll be knowing who our true friends are. But Peter Ochen coming in for the first ball. Oh, not Peter Ochen. That is Emmanuel Okwalinga with the first ball of the game, and it will be a dotty ball. Just making good use of the bounce from the surface as he makes his debut. Emmanuel Okwalinga. Modola Ediga and Isaac Aboji are the opening batters at the crease for the Ssenyi Warriors. Speaking about the toss, the Nsonga Royals won the toss and opted to bowl first. But then the Ssenyi also wished that they batted first. So this toss going their way, they are looking at a total slightly above 150, then they can come out and defend.
A handshake would have done in the center. So, but Emo Kwalinga straying wide. The memes are already out, Ivan, about our Muslim brothers. So expect some messages with location and time in Arabic. So Google Translate is going to be very busy.
Indeed, it's excitement after a long period of fasting, moving through the Ramadan. Isaac Abaiga, Edgar Mdola, the opening batters for the Ssenyi Warriors. And when you look at their lineup, they have Derek Okecho, Hadad Chiberu, Julius Woji, Jackson Asuku, standing captain, Nasur Damadi, Austin Mujuni, Isaac Agift Ojam, Adamu Zaifa, and Eric Matov. And you look at the lineup for the Nsonga Royals, captained by Peter Ochen, Doka Abdul Shakul, Emmanuel Tujuche, Sechito Mahadi, Moses Achema, Mutwalibu Mustafa, Yusuf Luanga, Samuel Chinalo, Ivan Obed, Christian Mulindwa, and Emmanuel Okwalinga, the man opening the bowling there on his debut. That is beautifully guided, accessing that back point area. They ran two for the second run. There was some bit of hesitation in the calls, but the sloppiness of the fielder gives them chance to take that extra run, and those are the first runs coming off the bat.
Edgar Mudola fully committed to that second. The non-striker was here waiting, but that man was already down the track running. And poor throw didn't result in run out, but of course we've seen how crucial it is to run between the wickets, because sometimes the boundaries will not come. But a very cool day this morning, Ivan. We had a morning downpour, but players been able to go on.
I'll speak about that morning pour. It might be the result of that slow outfield because the sun hasn't come out yet. It's been just a breezy day. But I love the lines being bowled by Emmanuel Okwalinga, even though he's giving wide, but he's making sure that he bowls that fourth stump. Good line for him to keep bowling. Should be just hoping that he can bring it closer, because the ball is swinging outwards. So if you bowl a straight one, it will swing out and it will still stick in that playing area. That is a much better delivery there from Emmanuel. One more ball in the over. Match day 14. This is a clash between the Ssenyi Warriors and the Nsonga Royals. Business end of the SABULA T20 Cricket Challenge Cup. And that's the final ball of the over coming in from Emmanuel. Guided point. And they do take the run. The single marks the end of the over. 6 from the first over. No wickets lost in the first over.
Ivan, the Royals coming off that 49 runs loss against the Sunrisers. And what did you feel was the mood of the captain and team at the toss?
Yeah, the mood of the captain, the Royals will be hoping that they can bowl out to the Ssenyi Warriors something below 115, as said by their captain there, Peter Ochen. But then they are motivated because they come off a victory, so they will be hoping that they can carry forward and maybe pick up something from this game.
The Ssenyi Warriors finally finding their stride in this competition. At one point, after 2 weeks, had no points on board, but there's been a bowling change at the highway end. Young man starts out by dotting and very poor fielding from the man in the middle, Emo Kwalinga. Welcome to Florida Cricket Oval. Ivan Obed with a ball from the highway end. Contrasting fortunes, like we said, the Warriors winning their encounter against the Chindi Blasters by 20 runs. Derek Okecho scoring 40 in 55. Jackson Asiku 24 in 14. Augustine Mujuni doing wonders with the ball, picking up 3 for 14. Asiku, the captain, 2 for 16, and Eric Matovu 2 for 19. So, two teams coming off, one a loss and another a victory, respectively. Young man strides way beyond the leg side, and it is wide. Umpire standing in this encounter, Hope Tandeka and Trevor Makchanja, both ICC level 1 coaches who fall under the Mukono cricket community, students and players of cricket.
When you look at the format of this tournament, the top 4 teams will be playing in the semi-finals, but Ssenyi Warriors currently out of that bracket because they are in 5th position. They have played 8 games, won only 2 and lost 6. They have 4 points. And on the other side of the Nsonga Royals, they have played 8, won 4 and lost 4. So if they win, they move to 10 points and somehow close the spot. Beautifully whipped off the pads. Work to do by the fielder backward of the square. And 2 runs taken by the Ssenyi Warriors.
The Warriors will be hoping for a win, which will put them on 6 points, together with the Kachanga Giants, who play later on today. So the contest for 4th position is still on. Probably one game for each side to complete their allotted 10 in the double round robin. So the battle is on for 4th. One final ball to complete Ivan Obed's over.
The sloppiness of the fielding for the Nsonga Royals has costed them so many runs in the infield. That single is taken, and the first over from Ivan Obed goes for 6 runs. As we come to the end of the second over, 12 for no loss is the score. The sun finally starting to pierce out of the clouds as Emmanuel Okwalinga returns for his second over. He gave away 6 in his first. Inside out, nearly carries to the field that covers. Good throw there from Peter Ochen, cutting that one off to just a single. Peter Ochen giving 101% every time he comes on pitch. In the absence of Edwin Wagawa, he's been the man carrying the team forward. Emmanuel Okalinga on a debut, to remember, he's really been hitting the deck hard. Just full, and he gets it drifting away from Isaac Abaiga. With it to cut, but not cut powerfully. Beautifully fielded by that fielder, standing right at point to cut it off to just a single.
The commitment to run between wickets, between this opening pair is good. Putting bat to ball, and some sloppiness from the Royals. The scoreboard keeps ticking. Swing and a miss from Edgar Mudola.
Nice swing and a miss. Like everyone has watched that he has swung and he missed. He's the way it sounds for. Flick of the wrist, glanced off the pads. Man manages put it into the gap. First boundary in this batting innings for the Ssenyi.
That ball swinging, but on the legs. Put away by Mudola. It was full.
Finally, Edgar Mudola breaking the shackles and scoring a boundary. Driven down the ground. It may not go all the way because of the slow outfield, but a beautiful off drive coming in from Edgar Mudola. 2 more to the total and end of the over. 8 runs from Emmanuel Okwalinga's second over. And after 3 overs, 24 no loss is the score. The projected score 133. Edgar Mudola on 14 of 14. Isaac Abaiga 2 of 4. And the Ivan Obed coming back to bowl his second over. His first over has gone for 6 runs. An interesting field setup as Ivan Obed returns. Third man outside. All the other fielders standing inside. But yesterday we saw a game, an exciting one. The Chindi Blasters finally breaking shackles and getting off the mark. Their win came after 6 attempts. They had played the 6 and lost all the games, but managed to topple the table leaders. Katase Strikers winning that thriller by 4 runs. What a match it was. Solomon, you were right in the middle, but after this will be telling me what happened. Wicket time. That ball rolling through. Isaac Abaiga nowhere close to playing that one. He misses his line, and Ivan Obed strikes fast for the Nsonga Royals.
No pace to work with. That ball pitching on off and angling into the young man. Drives to the long line. Leg stump dislodged. First wicket of the innings. The score is 20 for the loss of 1 for the Ssenyi Warriors. Asked to post the score by the Nsonga Royals. And Ivan to get back to that thriller between the table toppers and the bottom club, I had a first class seat right there in the middle of the action, and I tell you, it was all about mental power versus any set plans. Nobody gave us a chance, but we finally managed to pick up a deserved win, I would say.
Exciting it was yesterday, but that's the replay of the wicket from another angle. He didn't lose his shape so much, but he didn't manage to drive that one on. He went and he drove a wrong line. And in the end, the leg stump was dislodged. Derek Okecho is the new batter who has walked in, replacing Isaac Abaiga. 20 for 1. They looked comfortable the opening two until Evan Obed managed to roll one through.
A very good ploy by the captain, Peter Ochen, having one express bowler on one end in the debuting Emma Okwalinga, and then having the slower bowler coming from these ends, slow medium pacer. So that sharp contrast in pace paying dividends, picking up that first wicket.
Not a very good delivery there coming in from Ivan Obed at the back of the wicket. You need to make sure that you keep doing what you did, and it gave you the rewards. We're wide, nowhere close, nowhere in the crease.
Still plenty of learning opportunities for these youngsters playing with the most established seniors. And the thing that we have seen is the lack of consistency from the young bowlers. That ball staying low and dotting. You have to wait for that ball because there is very, very little pace on that. Straying to the leg side. The young Obed played deftly by Derek Okecho to get off the mark. You would say this is a very even first power play. Losing his line, and it would be best for him to vary the angle of attack. Because that ball is swinging in, if he could just go wider, I think he would find a better line. Trying to attack the fourth and fifth stump, that ball naturally will continue to drift inside the batter. Gets his line straight, fields off his own bowling, unhurried in his approach. The batters yet to get into any sort of rhythm. As previously said, that on one end is express pace, and on the other, medium to slow pace. Thick inside edge keeps that one out. Sweeps that for the second boundary for this innings. Obed favoring that leg side line and being punished. That ball going over the man at backward square. 4 overs done and dusted. The score is 27 for the loss of 1 at a run rate of 6.67. Projected score is 135 runs. The Royals and Warriors playing their 9th match, which will leave them with just one match each to play to complete their double round robin. And that being said, we have a bowling change from the Forest end. Mulindwa comes into the attack. Some spin, the captain says, to see if he can prize another wicket in this power play. Penultimate over of the power play. The sun looks to be fighting to break out at this Florida Cricket Oval. Morning downpour making it a very moist outfield. But Mulindwa into the action. Starts off with a half tracker right within the stumps, but not pulled away by Derek Okecho. Quicker one down the leg, and he will have to bowl that one again. Okecho picks up one to give Mudola the strike. The boundaries are far and few in between, but Emo Kwalinga sent out to cow corner. Abdul Shakul Doka goes to long on. Has a backward point, covers, extra cover and mid off. The appeal comes in. That ball striking on the pads. That is the wrong line to bowl, since he has a very offside centered field, Mulindwa. But Mudola uses his feet well, creates some room, and with some wrist action manages to pick up one. Quicker one. The young Mulindwa showing some variety. That final ball of that over, beating Derek Okejo, but missing the stumps. End of the 5th over. 30 for 1 as we take another look at that. Not so far away. Mulindwa trying to draw the man forward, bringing the edges into play. The Royals currently with 8 points, having played 8, won 4 and lost 4. Firmly in the 3rd position right from the onset of this tournament. The semi-finals will be contested between the teams ranked 1 to 4th, but there is a bowling change. Abdul Shakul Doka comes in from the highway end. Man who could equally be behind the stumps, but now choosing to come in to bowl. Very, very athletic fielder. Short in stature, but big in heart. Dot ball off the first ball. Mudola planting his foot early, and you feel that if that continues, he's a candidate for LBW. taking off all the pace of the ball. Some width. And the first maximum of this innings. Edgar Mudola picks up the line of that ball in the slot. Dispatches Abdul Shakul Doka. Quicker ball. Good work in the field there. From Chinwalwa at point. Keeps that to a dot ball. And with Mudola striking that boundary maximum in the second ball, all pressure, of course, back onto the bowler. But he's come back well. Dot ball, and they will single off that one. Okecho finds the gap between covers and mid-off for his first boundary. This over, the final one of the power play, and the Warriors breaking off all shackles have picked up 2 boundaries so far. Brings in another man to plug the gap. Extra cover. One final ball to complete Abdul Shakur Doka's first over. Flights that one, slows it down, and the slow pace has been paying dividends so far for the Royals. Completes that over, goes for 12. The score is 41 for the loss of 1 after 6 overs. Mulindo Christian will continue from the forest end. Starts off with a full one. Tries to use his feet to keep that to 1. Edgar Mudola going about his business slow and steadily, but picking up runs. You feel that the Nsonga Royals are missing the energy of their captain in the field. Edwin Nwagaba, a man who leads by example, a do as I do kind of fella. But you have a more relaxed Peter Ochen leading these troops now. Another dot ball from Mulindwa. A misfield. The non-striker in the way of the bowler, and they managed to sneak out 1. Welcome back, Ivan.
Much better over coming in from Christian Mulindwa. When you look at the previous over by Iduka Abdul Shakur, it went for many. So they needed an over to try and make sure that they amend. Cut Powerplay. And it runs all the way to the boundary. Widith on the offer. And Okecho Derrick obliges. Sends that one down to the fences.
Rocks back on the back foot, finds the gap between cover and point. Fielder can only retrieve that ball. And end of the 7th over. A score is 48 for the loss of 1. Derek Okecho 11 in 12. And Edgar Mudola 28 in 25.
Abdushakur Doka being taken out of the attack. And Mahadi Sechito coming to bowl his first over. Longo on, longo off, extra cover. Cow corner. All at the boundary. He's a handed spinner. Loose and driven down the ground. That was a ball for Mahadi to cut off, but he just didn't manage to get down and stop that one from going away. But good work by the fielders front of the square, cutting it off from running away. Much better line and length there coming in from Mahadi Sechito.
The Royals finding more joy when that ball is released quite slower to the Ssenyi Warrior batters.
Widith inside out, right over the head of the fielder. The fielder standing at the 30 yards arc. Maybe could have had a chance of getting hold onto that opportunity. But in the end, the chance goes begging. Mahadi will be thinking that he doesn't give away any boundary in this over. Aligning up and playing it. There is a fielder. No effort coming in from Emmanuel Okwalinga, and that goes all the way to the boundary. At least if you can't take the catch, cut off the boundary.
Eman having a debut to forget so far, having that kind of day, going in to try and catch it, but going round it. Okecho uses his feet well. Ball there to be picked up. No help whatsoever from the fielders. Sechito will feel hard done by, but he will have to continue.
That is played powerfully, but there is a fielder at extra cover, Moses Achema, who cuts it off to just a single. Clearly the shot was on with the placement and some more power from Edgar Mdola, but Edgar Mdola has been anchoring so well. 34 of 28. Much better coming in there from Mahad Sechito. This time round he goes down and manages to stop the ball from running away. 7 off his first over and 55 for 1 is the score after 8. A bit close there. That should have been out if there was an appeal, because the the batter at the striker's end was out of his ground and the ball had made contact with the bowler, but there was no appeal. And in the laws of cricket, if there is no appeal, as an umpire, you cannot give out the wicket.
Certainly not. Missed opportunity by the Royals there. A bit dozy. Edgar Mudola gets another life. Hope they don't come to roy that, but Christian Mulindwa will continue from the first end. Peter Ochen goes out to the boundary.
Ivan Obed with a half dive. Not a very good throw there coming in from Obed. They are not putting any efforts at the moment. The Nsonga Royals, they are playing like a team which says, I'll let them score runs. We shall come and chase. No problem. But they need to make sure that they put in a high shift. And at the moment, what they need is breaking this partnership, because the partnership is now steadily growing. Good work there from the field that covers, but Doka Abdushakul again with a very poor throw.
I told you they are missing the man with his energy, Edwin Nwagaba. Rallies his troops quickly, shows them how it is done. But a good over so far from Mulindwa. Balls that to the feet of Derek Okecho. Derek Okecho is not that kind of batter who will explode. Takes a while to get going, but is always handy in the runs that he scores for his team.
Just getting it off the hip, but the fielder this time round, Samuel Chinalwa, with a fine stop. This is a good over so far for Christian Mulindwa. It's hit up. There is a fielder, but it will land safe. Running backwards. Didn't give him any chance. And the chance goes begging. Just elevation from that shot by Edgar Mdola, but the catch not taken.
You feel that the man coming out from the deep, facing that ball directly, had better opportunity. Lands just a couple of feet away from him. 2 added to the score for the Warriors.
Doka Abdushakul not putting any efforts in stopping that one, and it's a single to wrap up the over. The only good thing about this over is that there is no boundary. And fine figures for Christian Mulindwa. He so far bowled 3, conceding 15. And as we come to the end of the 9th over, 60-1 is the score. A 40 runs stand for the second wicket. 40 off 35. 38 for Mdola. And 13 for Derek Okecho. These are the individual scores for these two batters currently at the crease. But Mdola's hand 38 coming off 32 balls. He's been striking at slightly above 100. But Mahadi Sechito is back with the ball. He's coming in to bowl his second over. His first went for 7. Changes in the field. Doka Abdushakul replacing Emmanuel Okwalinga at long on. There is a cow corner. Longer off and extra cover. As Mahadi Sechido comes in to bowl to Edgar Mdola. I love that one. It is flighted and it floats in the air. It takes some time to reach the blade of Edgar Mdola.
Yes, no pace to work with completely. That has been the good thing about this Arroyo's bowling. Mudola plants his foot quite.
Getting it off the body, Edgar Mudola. Work to do for the fielders, but they will take the 2 runs because they had to cover some distance coming from the deep mid-wicket area to stop that one. Ramping in for room, but Edgar Mdola manages to squeeze it into the gap. Mdola keeping the scoreboard ticking. He's now into the 40s. 41 of 35. And he is 9 runs shy of reaching a mark. That keeps low. Googly coming in from Mahadi Sechito. Derek swinging hard, but he was nowhere in the frame. He will be happy that that wasn't straight because it could have gone on to dismantle the furniture. 2 more balls in the over. He's kept dotting for his side, much needed. Somehow the Nsonga Royals are trying to make sure that they don't allow the Ssenyi Warriors to run away. And those dot balls are goldy dust. Swinging hard, but swinging across the line, Derek Okecho. And the dot ball marks the end of the over. Fine over coming in from Mahad Sechito. And that's the replay. Flighted. The only issue was that Okecho swung across the line. If he had maybe swung with full face of the blade, trying to drive the way his partner is demonstrating for him, he could have gotten some dividends. But as we come at the halfway mark, 10 overs gone, 63 for 1 is the score.
Mulindwa Christian will bowl his fourth over. Very lazy from him. As a bowler, that is your first duty, to field off your own bowling. But they pick up one. No pace to work with, and that ball right within the stumps. The traps have been set with the flighted balls, but the Warriors are not biting, not fully connecting to that one. Derek Okecho.
And I think now the Royals are happy when Okecho is on strike. Unlike Edgar Mdola, who is taking them on. Okecho swinging hard out of anger, but he'll just manage a single towards Longo on. He's kept rotating the strike, and now he brings the man in the Navy 40s, in the Navas 40s, on strike, Edgar Mdola. He goes down, swinging hard, but not connecting onto that one.
The wicket keeper not taking hold of that ball, and certainly there was nothing to appeal for. Flighted one from Mulindwa, driven well by Mdola. Oftentimes you have some batters, when some few runs away from a milestone, will go haywire, try to get to that milestone quickly. But Mdola going about it sedately. End of the 11th over. The score is 66 for the loss of 1. Current run rate being 6. Derek Okecho 14 in 23. Used up quite a number of balls, but that man, Edgar Mdola, striking at above 100. 43 in 38. The projected score is 120 runs. 9 more overs, and you feel that the acceleration should be now. We haven't yet seen Peter Ochen coming into the bowling, but Mahad Sechito will continue from the highway end.
Right under the nose of the fielder, they sneak through for the run. This has been the issue for the Nsonga Royals. So many easy runs they have given out in the infield. It should be something for them to amend as quickly as possible. Edgar Mdola now on 44. This time round, he creates room and manages to dispatch that one away. No effort coming in from the fielder. A full dive could have cut off the boundary. And in the end, that run is away. 4 runs for Derek Okecho.
Very, very generous fielding. That ball in the slot creates room on the leg side. Pulls that away. Mulindwa Malcolm not putting in a dive.
Power. The umpire had to run for his life. And the dive from Ochen not enough. Another boundary in the over by Derek Okecho. Okecho now stepping up the gears.
In the slot, umpire taking evasive action. It would have been a very tough chance, Peter Ochen with the effort, but that breaks the boundary rope. Another boundary, and the Warriors now on the charge, you feel.
Derek Okecho amending his figures in terms of strike rate. 22 now off 25 as he's found his hitting range. Quick one from Mahad Sekito and the dot. 2 more in the over, but that's a much better line because Derek Okecho is playing most of his shots on the onside. So keep the ball outside off stump. Make sure that there is nothing for him to access. A googly. That's drifting away from Okecho and another dot ball in the over. Much better.
Certainly pays to be a thinking bowler. Look at what the man is doing out there. Not just to come and bowl the same variety, the same, but one ball to complete this Sechito over.
That googly, he will be happy that he was missed because it was too flighted. And when you look at the attitude and idea from Okecho, he was really trying to access that vacant deep mid-wicket area. End of the over. 76 for 1 after 12. But those are the partnerships. The second wicket partnership of 56 of 53 balls between Derek Okecho and Eddie Gamdola. They've taken care of the wicket column, lost a wicket early right inside the power play. But now Derek Okecho and Eddie Gamdola are building back the game and making sure that they get to a formidable total. And the target should be that at the end of the 15th over, they are somewhere around 100. Then they can get the bonus of the runs in the remaining 5 overs.
We see the first appearance of Peter Ochen in the bowling lineup as we see that shot of the Warriors dugout. I hope this ploy works, Ivan, because the Warrior batters so far have struggled when that pace is slow and loopy. And then now pace comes in from Peter Ochen. Field changes, sends out third man, fine leg, deep fine leg. He will have long off and long on and deep extra cover.
Goes hard but just gets it to the edge. Work to do by the fielder. Makeshift dive chipped in by that man who manages to cut off the boundary. Peter Ochen finally coming into the attack. Hitting the deck hard. Work to do for Mulindwa. But beautifully adjudged, and he manages to chip in a fine stop, because if that ball had gone past him, there could have been a chance of a boundary, as there is no fielder doing super rolls right there.
Great work from the young men. Some Express now back into the attack. Had plenty of overs of spin in the middle overs, and I think Ochen kept some overs for himself. He will bowl to the end.
Missed completely by the bowler, the wicket keeper, and all the fielders, and that weight down the leg runs all the way to the boundary.
That is the danger of express pace now on, that even when the batters miss, some tighter fielding required from the wicket keeper there. Chipping a dive, keep that to only a single extra, but 5 extras considered. Needs to bowl tighter lines as we are in that home stretch now of the innings.
And he just went off the plan. The first 2 balls outside off stump were Goldie Dust, 2 singles. But he overcompensated, and still he comes back to the borderline. That is a hit. The fielder rolling out of the boundary with the ball. The full commitment and effort going in vain.
Quicker ball off the bat and off the surface. The run is in. Young man gets there, but then that momentum takes him over the boundary rope. But that effort will be appreciated by his captain and bowler.
A much better line coming in from Peter Ochen. 2 balls to the borderline have been risky. 1 was wide and it went for 4. And in the end, he overcompensated the boundary. But that single will help Eddie Gamudola to bring up a well-crafted half century. 50 of 42 at a strike rate of 119.05. 1-6 and 2 boundary 4s. Fine knock there from Eddie Gamudola. Applauded for the efforts, Mudola Ediga.
Great comeback from for Peter Ochen, coming right arm round to create that angle and bowl that ball across the batter, but with no gully or slip, and a very fine third man. That area still remains productive and available to the batters, but now bowling it at back of a length.
Final ball of the over from Peter Ochen, hitting the deck hard, and the single will be taken, marking 13 runs in the over. And as we come to the end of the 13th over, 89 for 1 is the score. First overs were bowled from the Forest end, but now he changes. Hopefully the change of ends may be a change in fortunes. Third man, extra cover at the boundary. 2 seamers now coming from both directions, trying to make sure that the batters are not so comfortable. There is change of the ball because of the slow outfield, because of the wet outfield. Maybe somehow the ball was getting soaked. But as you look at that projected score, 137. So I'm not sure if that is too defendable. But Okwalinga, who's given I-14 in his 2, will now come to bowl. Full and wide. Not sure what the idea was, or maybe wanted to go for a full yorker, but misses in the execution.
projected score being 138 is almost close to the past score of this field. We've seen when you get 140, that is quite a very defendable total. So if they keep going this way, and the Royals being that generous, certainly they will approach closer to that mark. And as you see, we are now well into the 90s, inching closer to the three figures. A change in end doesn't seem to have solved some of Okolenga's problems.
Yeah, now the issue for him is that he's trying to go for that Yorker length. And I think a York on the offside could be much better. Though for him, he doesn't want to give the batters room. Just getting that one into that gap. And another single onto the total.
What you realize is that one of the most unplayable balls is that Yorker darting in, aimed at the leg stump. So I think the idea was that, but straying away in the first few balls. Similar line well beyond the leg side. Okecho trying to sneak a run.
And now frustration coming their way because now these two batters have stuck in for some time now. He's shuffled the alley, covering the stumps. And for Edgar Mdola, he knew that since Okwalinga is trying to bowl to the border line, if you shuffle alley, he may give you a full toss and you dispatch it away. But Canning, he goes pace off and he manages to get that dirty ball. Hit past the fielder. It's running, but the outfield is slow on that end. Though it will go all the way to the boundary. The fielder giving up when he was chasing that ball.
Swipes him from the one side past the vacant backwards leg area. Bowling in the slot, Okwalinga is. Modola finding his timing, picks up another boundary.
Played. He will be happy that that's stuck in the ground. But it's for Edgar Mdola going for that shot. He realizes that the fielder standing at long on Doc Abdushakur was too wide towards cow corner, so there was a gap. And now the ball coming right in the arc. 100 runs coming up for the team after 13.4 overs. And the projected score now moving to 151. Two more balls in the over by Okwalinga. Played over the infield, but there is extra cover. Moses Achema will cut off the boundary. One more ball to play in the over. He goes pace off. And now the ball rolls down to third man to find a napping fielder. 2 runs are taken. And that marks the end of the 14th. 106 for 1. The current partnership, second wicket partnership of 57 of 46. I beg your pardon, it is 86. 57 of 46 is Edgar's individual score, but 85 of 65 with contributions of 57 and 27. Good work. Now there will be changes in who keeps. Dr. Abdushakur taking the gloves from Emmanuel Twijuche. It's been a tournament of all-round brilliance. Twijuche Emmanuel now will be the bowling change. Frustration coming the way of these batters. I mean the bowlers and fielders, because the wicket has taken too long to fall. And I told you the plan could be them thinking of getting to that 100 runs before 15 overs, so that all the rest of the runs that they can do get a bonus. They still have some people who can come handle with the bat. Players like Derek Matov can score runs, Jackson Asiku, or there will be another change in the bowling. Peter Ochen momentarily going out of the attack, and I see Mahad Sechito coming to bowl, changing ends and going to the forest end.
The sun finally making an appearance, but Mahad Sachito changing bowling ends, now will be coming in from the forest end. It's proving to be a tough day for the men in Till, the Royals, and the sun finally coming out might help to dry out the outfield, as we have seen the fielders running gingerly.
The sun coming out gives much better conditions of play to the team which is fielding now. By the time they come, the outfield will be a bit slow.
Beg your pardon, it should be quicker, a dried out outfield. But Mahad Sachito with the responsibility to get the shackles on. A top edge from Okecho. Quick running will see them pick up to no slip or gully whatsoever. Productive area for the batter if you can direct that ball there. Having the long on and long off out there. Deep mid wicket, deep extra cover as the boundary riders. Delivered shot by Mahad Sachito, but not put away by Okecho. The trajectory of this innings and the story so far has been that pace off has paid better dividends, kept the runs in check, less boundaries. That is why Peter Ochen and Emo Kwalinga went off. But a sky and an opportunity, man coming in from the deep. That ball placed well within the safest zone on the pitch. Going for the big hit, unable to connect well. Opportunity dropped. Man diving at covers, not moving in with the bowler. One ball to complete this Mahad Sachito over. The googly uncompletely misses. They've been unable to pick up his googly, and Sachito finishes his allotted 4 overs, picking up no wicket but conceding 26 runs.
Your fine figures he's had Mahad Sachito, but that's the chance that was squandered away. Clearly the ball going the way of the fielder. A half dive chipped in, but the ball rolled through the hands. 15 overs gone, and 112 is what the Ssenyi Warriors have. I tell you, the game swinging the way of the Ssenyi Warriors because they have gotten to a they are likely to end at a formidable total. Edgar Mdola still in with 59 of 49 and Derek Okecho 31 of 36.
Obed makes a return into the bowling attack. Started off pretty well in his 2 overs, conceding only 13 runs. Picked up that solitary wicket for the Royals. Tasked with stemming the flow of runs so far. Slower pace has been the order of the day for the Royals.
The man who has put a difference picking up a wicket, Ivan Obed, getting rid of Isaac Abaiga, is now back with the ball in hands. Maybe it's time for him to come and make another breakthrough. It's not hit with conviction, but it's hit into the gap. Derek Okecho 32 of 37. He's really done the anchor role, and now he's made his figures even look better, because in terms of strike rate he's close. Hard into the surface for just a single. One thing I like about Evan Obed is that he keeps bowling that stump to stump line. He keeps asking the batters question. The hit me if you can questions, and when you look at the ball that got for him a wicket, it was straight and it rolled through the furniture. So that's really a very good area to bowl. A little full and just a single flick of the wrist, and that's into the gap. The vacant deep mid-wicket area is accessed, and Edgar Mdola brings up another boundary.
Edgar Modola joining 7 other batters who have scored 50 in this competition. A well-crafted 50 so far. Unhurried in his approach. And a good striking rate, you would say. 16 50 so far.
Another over from Ivan Obed comes to an end. No wicket falling in this over, meaning the fortune didn't go their way. And at the end of the 16th over, 121 for 1 is the score. More 4 overs to play in this batting innings for the Ssenyi Warriors.
Edgar Mudola currently at 65 in 52 balls. Hoping to carry his bat with 4 more overs left in this innings. Of course, the Royals winning the toss and asking the Warriors to post a figure and we will have a bowling change from the forest end.
Not a very good start there for Samuel Ochinalwa, bowling to the pads. We'll be looking at bowling slightly straight to force the batters to play on the onside because it has long on and long off plus extra cover and deep mid wicket, but you don't want to use that man in deep mid wicket or ball outside of something when they pull you and it remains in the surface. The deep wicket fielder comes into play. Hit down to deep mid wicket for just a single, and currently Peter Ochen tossing the ball around to look for a fielder who could get for him a breakthrough. No breakthrough yet has been gotten. Projected score at 151, right what the Ssenyi Warriors would have wished. Another one to the pads and whipped away.
Chinwara favoring that line to the leg stump, easily dealt with by the batters. And yes, the ball being tossed around, and you feel at this point that all they are trying to do is contain the runs, knowing that there are plenty of batters out there in the Warriors dugout. Without conceding runs, they will not mind that so much.
Yeah, that previous ball was much better from Samuel Ochinalwa. The ones that he bowled to the pads, he conceded runs. And when he bowls it outside off stump, he puts in a dot ball. So that should be the line for him to bowl. And now Edgar Mdola shuffling early, but again outside off stump just drives it to the fielder. And it is another dot ball in the over. One more ball to play in this over. Current run rate 7.37. With one more ball to complete the over. He goes down into the surface and it's a dot. 3 off Samuel Ochinalwa's first over, much better. And at the end of the 17th, 124 for 1 is the score. You can see the 100 partnership coming up, but make sure that you're speaking the cricket because the partnership and clearly you saw the man tossing the ball around. The man who has been keeping for the previous overs in Emmanuel Trijuche. He's kept for 16 overs. Will be now the bowling change, but he's been bowling some loose balls in this tournament. Though he comes when there is a fielder long on, long off, and deep mid wicket. He is introducing an extra cover fielder, taking away the mid wicket. Just hoping that he can stick onto the plan, because now what they really need is a wicket, because these two are proved to be dangerous if they stick in. 36 of 41 and 66 of 56. Emmanuel Trijuche coming round the wickets. Starts with a googly, which is hit up in the air, but it will run safe because the fielder had to cover a lot of distance running from the boundary.
That ball not hit with conviction by Okecho. Trijuche bowling right within the zone. Manages only a sky, and we will have another look at the ball by the umpires, bringing a temporary break in play. But this partnership between Mudola and Okecho crossing the 100 runs mark. Okecho playing the lesser role, but still very important. Mudola has been the aggressor. As we'll take a look at those highlights of the match so far.
A few highlights coming in from the match. Edgar Mudola has been really the man knocking the ball around and making sure that he scores the runs for his side. Made some good contributions with the blade. He's looked so poised, but somehow you throw it even to the fielding of the Nsonga Royals. Back to play. A bit quick. They are coming in from Emma Tujuche. And they take on the hand of Moses Achema to bring up 2 runs.
Balled a bit short. Pulls that one through the mid-on region. And you feel that the wickets have failed to come, so stemming the flow of runs is the first duty of the bowlers and the Royals at large. One in the block hole from Twijuche, unable to fill to his own bowling, picks up another run for the Warriors.
Another one. They will push for the second run because Peter Ochen didn't show any energy running from the boundary. So many easy runs that they have conceded. They're not so good at chasing, and I'm not sure why they are allowing many of these easy runs. 2 more balls to play in the over. 39 of 43 for Derek Okecho. Derek Okecho plays for Africa Cricket Club. Hopefully he can make his debut this season, this coming weekend at this very ground. Sliced away and all the way to the fences. Full and wide. That angle of forcing the ball away from the batter this time round is seen and hit away.
Using his feet to get to that ball, following it, and swings his arms through. Finds the gap well.
He changes bowling sides and now he is coming over for the final ball. A whip off the pads and just a single. 11 off the over, and at the end of the 18th, 135 for 1 is the score. At the back of a very fine over that went for just 3 runs, Samuel Ochinala will return for his second over. The projected score still 150. Penultimate over of the first innings of this game. Longer on, longer off, extra cover, deep mid wicket, all at the boundary. Derek Okecho already in the 40s as well. 6 more shy of getting that half-century mark. And Samuel Ochinala coming in to deliver the 19th. Plays that one down the ground. There will be work to do by the fielder running in from the boundary. And they will only take a single. But the current run rate 7.49. Brilliant work being done by the Ssenyi Warriors as we come to the back end of this innings. And for Edgar Mudola, the fielders outside stand right at the boundary. Samuel Ochinala misses the line. Two wides, make it 3 onto the cards. Not a very good ball from Samuel Ochinala. We saw him bowling to the body line in his first over and he considered 3 singles. When he came back and bowled outside off stump, he dotted. So the plan for him should be bowling outside off stump because that's the line which is challenging the batters. And you need to keep bowling that challenging line. inside out shot, but just hit hard into the surface. Much better, and it's just a single.
Realizing that Chinwara will go to the side line, has that early shuffle, brings him closer to the ball. Wasn't able to connect so well to that one.
Swinging hard and missing completely, and it's another dot ball in the over. Much better ball there coming in from Samuel Chinalwa. Bounce off the surface, slow bouncer. But Okecho, who is comfortable in playing on the onside, will always be challenged when those balls are going outside. He doesn't concede when he balls on the offside, so that should be the line that he sticks on. Cramping him for room, and it's another dot ball for Samuel in the over.
Okecho clearly playing for the team, playing the ball at hand. Just a few runs away from a personal milestone. Good lines from Chinarwa, pinning him.
Chance to catch, and yes, Samuel Chinarwa with the breakthrough. Emmanuel Tujuche with the catch at covers, and at long last, they do find the second wicket.
Slow and trying to create room. Okecho only manages to find the man at covers. Balled into the surface from Chinalwa. The second wicket falls for the Ssenyi Warriors. And after 19, the score is 140 for the loss of 2 wickets. Edgar Mudola still there, hoping to carry his bat, 70 in 59. But Samuel Chinwara making the second breakthrough for what has been a slog for the Royals, having won the toss and asked the Warriors to set a total.
Jackson Asiku, the standing captain for the day, now makes way. 140 for 2 after 19 overs is what the scoreboard reads, and more 6 deliveries remaining to wrap up this over. Eddie Gamdola on 7th of 59, and Jackson Asiku is a new man in. Tujuche Emmanuel, who's bowled 1 over that has gone for 11, will be bowling the final over of this innings. Coming round, but Edgar Mudola, clearly that ball was going to the offside. He should have just opened up his blade and swung through the lane. He tries to play it on the onside, but just dots it down. This time round, he swings and connects. Monstrous 6 all the way to the bunker. What a shot coming in from Edgar Mudola.
Gets into position quickly, lines that one up. A slightly quicker ball from Tujuche.
He now changes ends and is coming over. But that will be called wide by the umpire. Nowhere in those lines. And wide as adjudged by the umpire. The idea of going over the wickets not paying off. Shimmy down the track, inside out, elevation and not distance. Okwalinga Emmanuel, the debutant, with the catch, and Edgar Mudola departs.
Quicker into the surface. Twejuche saw Mudola coming out, trying to get to the pitch of the ball, finds the middle of the bat, manages just a skyer, and then Okwalinga does the rest. Fully concentrated on that ball. Third wicket falls for the Ssenyi Warriors. 147 runs with 3 balls left to complete the innings.
3 more Lego balls wrap up the innings. 147 for 3. They were facing a target of 150, but 147 is a fighting total. It's a pass score at this ground. So if they find a way of adding some more runs from here on, maybe they will have gotten something that they can do defend. If you've just joined us, I would love to tell you that the Nsonga Royals have won the toss in this clash against the Ssenyi Warriors, and they did opt to bowl first. They got an early wicket, but a second wicket stand between Edgar Mudola and Okecho. So the team Haddad Chiveru Nsonga College Mwiri is his school, now the new batter in.
A great fight back from Twejuche, having been taken for 6.
Plays down the ground, and it is just a single. Chiveru off the mark, now bringing Asiku, who you would feel that is a much better batter than him because of the experience on strike. Emmanuel Tucho with his cunning tricks, he now goes round for Jackson Asiku, so that he tries to angle the ball away from him. Hanging blade hard, nearly misjudged by the fielder. The Nsonga Royals being helped by the field, and just 2 more onto the total. That brings up 150 runs for the team total, and gets Jackson Asiku off the mark. Final ball of the innings. Aligns up and plays an inside out shot which goes all the way, clearing extra cover, and that maximum wraps up the first innings.
Goes to the offside, well in position in time, middles that, over deep extra cover. 156 runs for the loss of 3 in the 20 for the Ssenyi Warriors.
When Haddad Chiveru had a chance to run, he rotated his strike quickly, so that brings Jackson Asiku onto strike. But when you look at their batting card, Mudola Edgar opened the batting and he put a solid contribution, 76 of 62 at a strike rate of 122. Derek Okecho supported him very well. He fell short of a half century by 5 runs, but his 45 of 50 at a strike rate of 90 was decisive. 24 extras have been given away by the Nsonga Royals. It will be something for them to regret. Christian Mulindwa and Samuel Chinalo are having some good economies, 4.50 and 4.00 respectively. 1 wicket apiece for Ivan Obed, Samuel Chinalo and Emmanuel Tujuche. And as we come to the end of the innings, the Nsonga Royals will need 157 runs if they are to be victorious, and those should come from 120 balls.
Hassan. Gwe mwana era nange mbadde njagala kugamba olunaku terunatandika. Lwana abadde bazannya abafuldinga. Waliwo abantu abazannya nga toyinza kusumagira na kusumagira. Gwe Mugisha toddamu kukola ekintu ekyo. Kimanyi osobola okwegira bwoti n'osokawo mutwe. Naye muba temulowooza. Tutafukeeko. Leero empewo waliyo empewo. Mere tenaba. Asiku aliwa. Asiku. Asiku aliwa. Eh? Eh? Asiku. Akra. Asiku aliwa. Mugamba je. Asiku. Lwa ku Very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are watching us. It is still the SABULA T20 Cricket Challenge. This is match day number 14. It is the encounter between the Ssenyi Warriors and the Nsonga Royals. Second innings coming up with the Royals needing 157 runs for victory. First innings had a 108 second wicket partnership between Edgar Mudola and Derek Okecho, helping the Warriors post 156 runs. A quick flurry of wickets made it a contest, and the Royals, having won the toss and asked the Warriors to bat, now with the chasing to do. We will be starting off from the forest end. My name is Solomon Luwama Chigos, here to take you through the live action. Opening partnership for the Royals is Emmanuel Trijuche and Yusuf Luanga. Adam Huzaifa will bowl the first ball from the forest end. Quick dots and M. Boji Martin taking hold of the gloves for the Warriors. And these two teams fighting to see who will make it to the semi-finals in this competition. We are right down to the business end. Played well off the pads by Emmanuel Tijiche. That ball trickling down for the first boundary of the second innings. Ball across, coming into the pads of Trijuche. The Warriors will feel that having matched the pass score of this oval and in the competition, they're well within rights to feel that they have the upper hand so far, have a target to bowl to, but Adam will continue dotting down, creating more pressure. Only 2 men out during the field restrictions. Deep fine leg and third man. Point comes in close, so does covers, leaving that gap in there being exploited by Emmanuel Trijuche. Aiming for the fourth stamp, some width as Trijuche creates room for himself and whips that one to the boundary. Adam trying to bowl across the body to Trijuche, has a slip in. Point move to backward point, covers, extra covers and mid off. A very off-centered field set so far, but straying down the leg side this time round, trying to angle that ball back into the man. A lot of of bowling in this lineup with Jackson Asiku, Augustine Mujuni, Eric Matovu coming up for the Warriors. Tries to play inside out. Twijuche fails to connect, and it will be a dot ball. Final ball of the first over of the second innings from Huzaifa Adam. Rapid in his pace. Goes for a slower wide delivery. Almost gives away a run, but that is the first over done and dusted. Concedes 9 runs in that. Score is 9 for no loss. Requiring 148 runs in 114 balls. Yusuf Luanga yet to face. It will be the pace bowlers bowling in tandem. Now with standing captain Jackson Asiku taking hold of the ball. And he will be coming from the highway end. Playing bat pad is Luanga Yusuf. Right in, that ball coming in across into the batter from Jackson Asiku. Starts off with a dot ball. Has a gully set out there. Third man trying to create those chances of taking catches. It's the man with pace this time round for a consecutive dot ball. Preferring to have third man and deep fine leg out for those opportunities presented when the ball beats the ring. Tries to sneak a run. Sent back by his partner. And you can feel that the dot ball pressure right onto the heads of the opening partnership between Twijuche and Luanga. That ball kicking off the wicket, but well fended off by Luanga. Another dot ball. This over looks very good so far. No runs conceded yet. A welfare check being conducted by umpire Trevor McChanja, which will include a concussion test. All safety protocols being observed. Asiku certainly bringing the wicket into play, and also the edges, as you can see, is filled, cramping the batters for room. Right on the money, and the dead bat offered by Luanga. 5 dot balls so far and 1 ball to complete the over. Beaten for pace, tries to play to the offside, but first maiden of the second innings, the score remains at 9 for no loss. Yusuf Luanga yet to score a run, and Emmanuel Tujuche 8 in 6. Welcome back, Ivan Cyprian Sajabi, to the commentary box.
Thank you so much, Solomon. I'm happy to be back here. Express pace has been the tactic for the Ssenyi Warriors as they try to defend the 156 runs that they have scored. 0 off 6 for Yusuf Ulule and 8 off 6 for Emmanuel Twijuche, the opening batters of the Nsonga Royals. But back to ball is Adamu Zaifa, player for Ginger Essex Cricket Club. He was in talks with Wanderers, but now there he returns. Just getting it out of the block hole. Emmanuel Twijuche. Adamu Zaifa bowling express pace. Full balls, yoking them to the crease and making sure that there is nothing for the batters. 147 in 107 balls for victory. And Yusuf Ulule, who is yet to get off the mark. He also does some work as a curator, Yusuf Ulule. That one keeping low and creeping, but squandered away by the wicketkeeper, giving them a chance to run. The wicketkeeper, Boji Julius, quite guilty of not chipping in a fine stop.
Great running in between the wickets, realizing that they didn't take any runs off Asikuzova. The timeline can't have dot balls throughout. A slip in place to Huzaifa, trying to bring the edges into play. Balls it back over length and quick with Widith. Tujuche unable to profit from that, and it's a dot ball. Yes, Yusuf Luanga among the curators of this ground, and that man who just made his Ugandan debut in Namibia, a nice Baig, encouraged him to take up the game of cricket. Baig, obviously, son to another former Ugandan international in Akbar Baig, also who captained the side, keenly following in his father's footsteps. But another dot ball from Huzaifa.
And I think it was a good idea for Yusuf to take on the curator role, because he is, the playing role, because he is always here seeing many different players coming around to play. So when you get out and practice with them, you also make a mark. Played into the vacant area, but no power from that shot by Emmanuel Twijuche, though the timing was perfect, and they sneaked through for 2 runs.
Uses his feet well this time round, gets to the pitch of the ball, plays it over the head of the bowler. Because the fielders are hugging the middle ring at mid-off and mid-on.
Using the wrist, but hesitation between the batters, and they don't take the run. There was chance to run, but Emmanuel Twijuche turning down the run. A much better over from Adamu Zaifa. 3 runs from his second over, and at the end of the third over, 13 for 9 is the score.
Jackson Asiku to continue from the highway end. Started off well with the maiden over. Balls that went way beyond the tram lines, trying to draw the man into playing to a wider delivery. Some results as Asiku tries to go for that wideish line. Better line now, aiming for that fourth line stamp. The pace clearly troubling the young Yusuf Luanga, yet to get off the mark, having first 8 balls. Luanga not presenting the full face of the bat, playing with an angled bat at risk of clicking to the wicket keeper, all the man at gully. Asiku balls 2 within the slot, and then the third one balls across the body of Luanga. Finally gets bat to ball, and thus the effort from the fielder, momentum carrying him over the line with the ball in hand. Yusuf Luanga picks up his first runs with that boundary. Nasul Damadi with all the momentum and trying to throw that ball from beyond the boundary rope. Well played, young man. Right in the block hole there. Good comeback from Jackson Asiku.
And that is a much better ball. There was some width offered by him on the previous delivery, and Yusuf playing it down to third man, where that misfield by Nasul Damadi gave him chance to pick up that boundary. So Asiku needs to bring it closer. Final ball of the over right into the block hole, and it will be a dot ball. 6 in the over and 19 for none is the score after 4.
Six runs coming off Jackson Asiku's second over. Yusuf Lule now at 4 in 13, and Emmanuel Trijuche perfect 11 in 11. Required rate is 8.63, 138 runs in 96 balls. Adam continues from the forest end, right into the block hole. Opportunity for a run out as Yusuf Luanga had taken off.
Yeah, Yusuf Luanga leaving his crease very early, but that ball was straight to the fielder. Emmanuel Tujicha, who clearly knew that he was running into trouble because the fielding was done at mid-off. I beg your pardon, mid-on. Turns down the run because he didn't want to run himself. into trouble, and he knows that if they lose an early wicket, they will be in trouble because pressure will start rolling onto the rest of the batters.
Ball to back over length. Tujuche tries to pull that one. Luanga making contact but unable to find the gap. Man at short covers in business.
He should be thinking about rotating strike. Emmanuel Tujuche 12 of 13, but Yusuf Luanga chewing up most of the balls. He needs to just make sure that he knocks the balls around.
Variety from Adam, having bowled those first two balls in the body, now goes wider. Another dead bat shot from Luanga. No reward to that. It's another dot ball.
Yeah, the dot ball pressure will turn to haunt the Nsonga Royals. They are conceding so many dot balls with not a lot of runs on board.
Quicker, bringing us to the end of the fifth over. The score is 20 for no loss for the Nsonga Royals in their chase of 157 to win.
A very good third over for Adamu Zaifa. Just one run coming from that over. 137 needed in 90. The gap between the number of runs needed and the balls remaining to play in the innings becoming even wider. They need to play some shots if they are to get anywhere close to picking up victory. Because as it stands, the Ssenyi Warriors are on top of this one.
Mujuni is the bowling change from the highway end to replace Jackson Asiku in this attack.
Another seamer still being used in the attack in Austin Mujuni. Jackson Asiku looking flawless, but because he's one of the pick bowlers, he will be hoping that he can come back later and bowl in this game.
That ball kicking off the wicket, defended by Tujuche but falls safe. Throughout the tournament, Majuni has come from the from the forest end, but today changing ends.
And when you look at the bowling for Austin Mujuni, not giving Tujuche any room, he's been angling the balls back, hitting it back of length and making sure that he forces Tujuche to drive. But he's not using any fielder at fine leg. The only fielder he's using is at third man. Because Emmanuel Tujuche has power and he is still into the power play, they have another fielder at longer on in Jackson Asiku and make sure that they can take on those chances.
with such a field, you expect that where Mujuni to bowl one full in the slot that Tujuche can pick up. Then he has protection at long on. But another dot ball. Pressure rightly back onto the batter to try and find the runs to keep the scoreboard ticking.
Leading edge, there is a fielder, Nasul Damadi rushing, and in the end he squanders that one away. He had a chance when he fell down on the ground, but unfortunately he didn't get hold onto the opportunity because he was in motion of falling, and in the end the chance which is given by Emmanuel Tujuche goes begging.
An opportunity created by Augustine Mujuni Damadi having one of them days while trying to move into the ball, slips, tries to maintain contact with the ball and stretches out his arms, but he survives, and not for long. Tujuche Emma sends one out to the man at covers. Brilliant catch.
Good anticipation by Isaac Kabaiga, who got hold onto that one. Still the ball's angling into Emmanuel Tujuche, playing it on the back foot, but just doesn't manage to play it over. It nearly fell short of the fielder, but Isaac Kabaiga covering a lot of ground and getting hold onto that opportunity firmly. The Nsonga Royals lose their first wicket with just a ball to play inside the power play. Fine over there being bowled by Austin Mujuni. Is yet to give away any runs, and he's already picked back, picking up a wicket, and the wicket of the danger man Emmanuel Tujuche, who was looking to be scoring runs. 137 in 85 is now what the equation reads.
A very inspired bowling change there. Mujuni taking the breakthrough, maintains his line throughout the first 4 balls he bowled. Tujuche playing back, very poor foot movement, playing back to leg side rather than going to the on and driving that ball on the up. Manages only to sky that one to the waiting hands of Baiga. Great camera work there.
Yeah, Baiga goes, and the captain Peter Ochen makes his way to the crease. Another batter handy who can get for you the runs. He comes when there is a lot of work to be done by his side. 137 runs needed as we are remaining with only a ball to complete the power play. He'll get off the mark right away, Peter Ochen. Only 1 run in the over by Austin Mujuni, and that single brings us to the end of the power play. 21 for 1 is what the scoreboard reads after 6 overs.
End of the power play indicated by umpire Hope Tandeka, standing at the forest end from which there is a bowling change. Eric Matovu replacing Huzaifa.
The bowling changes have been made have still remained the same as the change which was done from the road end as Jackson Ask was going out of the attack was another seamer in Austin Mujuni. And now Adamu Uzaifa gets out of the attack. And Matovu Eric, another seamer, comes into the attack to continue bowling. 4 of 17 for Yusuf Lule. And Peter Ochen has 1 of 1.
Trying to angle that ball into the batter. Going down the leg side, starting off with the wide Matovu. Finally corrects his line, and all his boundary riders are on the leg side. Deep fine leg, cow corner and long on.
Much better lanes there coming in from Eric Matovu, making sure that he keeps the wickets in check. But Peter Ochen finally managing to squeeze it into the gap. Not giving them hands, Matovu Eric, and making sure that he keeps them guessing.
Ball wraps the pads of Rwanga, but Ajad going down the leg side by the umpire. Wicket time as Rwanga clicks and the waiting Julius Boji completes the catch. Second wicket down for the Nsonga Royals.
Beautiful line bowled by Eric Matovu. The ball angling into the batter. You clearly see the deviation after that shot. Swinging across the lane, Yusuf. The feather taken by the wicket keeper, Julius Boji. And the second wicket for the Nsonga Royals goes.
New batter in is the left-handed Mahad Sachito. A bit of a rebuilding job. Now new partnership with the opening pair back in the hat. Mahad Sechito and Matovu Eric, former teammates, but now turning out for Mukono development side. That ball angled into him, now with a slip in place. Mahad lives to survive another day. A term Dolly offered to the diving Asiku.
Yeah, it was a bit of a leading edge. Sechito Mahad rushing into that shot. Clearly, you'd feel that Eric Matov was in a better position to take the catch. But Jackson Asku giving it a shot, misses it, and another opportunity squandered away. 2 runs off Eric Matov's first over and the wicket falling in that over. As we finish the 7th over, 23-2 is what the scoreboard reads.
Augustine Mujuni continues for his second over from the highway end. Great use of the feet by Peter Ochen, but finds the man in covers. No reward whatsoever to that shot. An inside edge towards the leg umpire. And they ran for 2.
Yeah, it went into the vacant area. Chiberu Haddad had to run in from mid-wicket to cut off that one. And in the end, the batters capitalizing on that opportunity. It's a good placement there from Peter Ochen, because he knows he has to keep scoring for his side and keep them in contention of winning this match.
Losing his shape there. Ochen trying to go for the big shot. Mujuni persists with that line. Balls it to a back of a length. Misfield from Baiga at covers. See the Royals rotate strike. Pick up 1. The left hand, right hand combination brings fielding changes. Angling out from Mahad, plays to that one. One final ball. We'll see the completion of Mujuni's second over. That dot ball marks the end of the 8th over. 3 coming off that Mujuni over. Score is 26 for the loss of 2 wickets.
Austin Mujini has been horror in this game. 1 run from his first over and the wicket. And when he comes back for his second over, he gives away just 3. He's really been bowling an economical spell, not giving anything away to the batters. None off 4 for Mahadi Sechito, and Peter Ochen has 5 off 7. Current run rate 3.25 and required above 10. 131 needed in 72 balls. It's becoming a tall ask. They will need to play some shots if they are to pick up victory. Speak about shots. And Peter Ochen goes hard at the bowling of Eric Matov, who is returning for his second over.
Straight drive back to the bowler. Has protection behind him. A shot in anger from Chen. Boundary maximum.
Right in the arc. Peter Ochen manages to hit it all the way. Pitched a bit full to his crease. And Peter Ochen using his height, swinging through the lane, and he manages to bring up the first maximum of this run chase. He knows a lot of responsibility will rest on his shoulders in this game, and that's why he's making sure that he goes for those powerful hits.
Come back from Matovu, but sloppy fielding turns the single into a double. There is that off his back foot to the vacant mid-on. Ochen involved in that vain chase yesterday. That ball skips low. Another dot ball in this over from Eric Matovu. And apart from that, boundary maximum has been a bit quiet. Tidy line once again. Matovu pinning Ochen back in the crease. No room to work with whatsoever. And it will be the final ball of this over. And the dot ball will mark the end of the 9th over. 8 coming off that Matovu over. Score is 34 for the loss of 2 wickets. Peter Ochen perfect, 13 in 13. Mahad Sechitoyetu get off the mark, having first 4 balls.
In the contest of the match, the previous over was much better. A maximum in that over by Peter Ochen, making sure that he remains the fans that I'm here and still at the crease, and it's not yet over before we see the songs from the fat lady. 123 in 66 is what now they need. He scored the maximum in the previous over, Peter Ochen, and he will need to score more in this. But now the plan for him is that because Mad Sechit will be facing the first ball of the over, he needs to get for him the single and bring him on strike. And the field setup quite interesting. For Mahad Sechit, only one fielder being used outside at 30 man, and Austin Mujuni will be going right arm over the wickets for the left-handed Mahad to make sure that he angles the balls into him.
Playing away from his body, Mahad Sechito nowhere near the line of that ball, just swinging his arms. And you make a very good point, Ivan. Strike will be very crucial to Peter Ochen. Yesterday coming in quite late down the order and unable to overhaul the target.
When we went for the break, I was with Coach Simon, and I told him if I was Peter Ochen, I could have opened with Emmanuel Twijuche, because what would happen is that most of these youngsters come in and tend to chew up the resources. Okay, fine, it gives them confidence batting, knowing that you're still out there, but then you have to make sure that you come in early and get those runs. And putting it into context, when you look at the performance by the first wicket that went, which was for Emmanuel Twijuche, 12 of 18, but then the 4 of 19 from Yusuf Luanga at a strike rate of just 21. He wasn't really a man for the power play. He looked to be in good shape, but he's a man who can come and help you maybe at the back end of the innings.
Quick running in between the wickets to further bring your point to light, Ivan. These youngsters have had plenty of opportunity to open, but right now we're in the business end of this competition, so it is all about winning and getting scores on board. Great use of the feet to pick up one via the slips region, vacant, and it is detrimental for Ochen to be only facing 2 balls per over.
Yeah, but that's a good placement. And Mahadi Sakito went off the mark on the previous delivery. Before that single by Peter Ochen, I'll be hoping that he can make some contact again. The other single gave him some bit of confidence. He goes for a glance shot and he manages to put it into the gap. They run very quickly and he will settle for the 3 runs. And those 3 runs mark the end of the over. The halfway mark, 39 for 2 is what the scoreboard reads.
At the halfway mark of this contest, just a reminder that the Nsonga Royals, the man in teal, won the toss and elected to bowl, asked the Warriors to set a target, which they surely did, posting 156 runs. Skied opportunity from Mahad Sachito, a lazy shot, trying to play inside out when he should have played straight on, only managing to find the fielder.
Another catch taken and another wicket goes. Eric Matov coming and hitting the deck hard. Mahadi Sakito trying to swing through the line, but not swinging his bat completely, just manages an edge. And the catch is taken. And another wicket goes. 39 for 3. More havoc being put onto the batting lineup for the Nsonga Royals as they lose another wicket. The top 4 teams will be locked in for the semi-finals. 6 teams in this tournament, so you have to make sure that as you're playing, you're within that bracket. The tournament, the curtains of this tournament will be coming down on Tuesday. I'll be having this prestigious tournament coming to an end. Current 103.84. The required is 12. It will take them some shots to get 118 balls from just 59 balls.
Nsonga Royals appearing third so far on the log, having won 4 with 8 points. So the Warriors started off badly this tournament, but have come to the fore now with 2 victories, trying to get their third and try and overhaul the Giants, who are in the 4th position. But the new man in is Abdul Shakul Doka. Eric Matov, who has done the cleaning up so far, following great work from Jackson Asiku and Huzaifa Adam. Not to forget Augustine Mujuni as well. They've created the pressure. Eric Matov reaping the rewards. You felt that Mahad Sachito was trying to go, having completed half of their overs in this innings.
You did speak about the Kachanga Giants, who will be in action today in the afternoon, taking on the Chitamba Sunrisers. The Sunrisers not having a very good tournament, and the Kachanga will be hoping that they can win, because the win keeps them close in terms of standings. But Abdushakur Doka, the wicket-keeper batter, is the new man in. Starts with that glance shot, just guiding it into the gap, and he will only manage a single.
One thing that you're going to see is a quick running in between the wickets. Abdul Shakur Doka, very fleet-footed, trying to convert the singles into doubles. But protection still out there for Matovu in long off and long on and cow corner. Goes for power, but there is no reward to that. And another dot ball to Eric Matovu.
Just a little further, and there will be work to do by the man at third man, Austin Mujuni. Clearly a chance of taking the second run, but Peter Ochen rejecting that run.
Bowler will not be amused by the wicket keeper, who seemed to be surprised at that ball going to his right hand. No movement of the feet. But a quiet over and a good one for the Warriors. Brilliant fielding from Edgar Mudola, a man who put in a shift in the first innings, hitting 70 plus in some discomfort, but satisfied that he has done a job for his team.
Yeah, he chips in a dive after that great anticipation and manages to cut that one off. Scoring runs is one thing and defending them is the other thing. And because he scored a half century, he will be hoping that his half century is a match-winning knock. That's why he's putting in all the gears. But another Eric Matov over comes to an end. He has fine figures, 2 wickets for just 12 runs in 3 overs. And at the end of the 11th, 41 for 3 is what the scoreboard reads. And more 116 runs are needed in 54 balls. Dr. Abdushakur 1 of 3 and Peter Ochen 15 of 16. If you're just joining us, the Nsonga Royals are taking on the Kachanga Giants in the SABULA T20 Challenge Cup. A tournament sponsored by King's Children's Medical Center located in Mukono. Deep End Sports Media, who can stream all your events. Great production team right available. You can subscribe to their YouTube channel and make sure that you don't miss out action. They have exciting things on that channel. They do streaming of the kabaddi, badminton, basketball and all the games including football. So make sure that you keep it deep end so that you don't miss out. Turn on notifications so that when there is something coming up, you can get notified. Mukono Cricket Community and Cricket Uganda, organizers of this tournament, as we see a bowling change. Full toss and dispatched away by Peter Ochen, a man who scored 45 in the first innings. Doesn't start with a very good delivery to his bowling. Derek Okecho welcomed and sent down to the cleaners. There was no thinking in that ball, just bowling it full, and Peter Ochen goes for power and manages to put it into the gap. Peter goes hard again. He gets elevation. Oh, miss anticipation by that man there in Jackson Asiku. The ball just going one bounce for 4.
Right in the slot for Chen, who goes hard. And a mistiming from Asiku, thinking that he had no more room to pick up boundary 4. Right in the action now there in your shot.
For Jackson Asiku dropping that ball, dropping that catch, or seeing the ball go through his hands, he started running early before he had anticipated the ball so well, because when the ball was hit up in the air, everyone was
crying for the catch. So he might have been caught napping, and somehow when he woke up, he had to just start running right away. He squanders away an opportunity because Peter Ochen is really the wicket for them to get 24 of 19 now, and he is a man who can drag the game on. But the previous single was blocked up 50 runs as the team total, and they will be hoping that they can get the remaining more runs. But look, Abdul Shakur not looking so comfortable. He goes for power, but Haladi Chiberu with the makeshift cutting that one off, and it's another dirty ball. Somehow Derek Okecho has started deep. The screws started with 2 boundaries, but he's made amendments. 3 dot balls at the back end of the over. 9 of Derek is first, and after 12, 50 for 3 is the score.
The appearance of spin in this bowling attack, Derek Okecho creates the opportunity not taken by his captain, misjudging that flight coming in and then having to pedal back. Thought he didn't have enough room, tries to catch it within the boundary, misses that. But Eric Matovu will come for his 4th and final over. Slower ball into the slot, not giving Ochen pace to work with.
And I love what Eric Matov is bowling, forcing Ochen to drive that ball. There is extra cover in place and longer off, so he's making sure that Ochen plays his shots on the offside. Ochen forces it into the gap at longer on, and he manages to sneak through for the single. And I tell you, Solomon, the singles will not hurt them, because what they are thinking and trying to avoid is conceding boundaries at this time of the match. The required run rate starting to shoot up. It is now getting close to 14. And for them to be safe, they will need to score a boundary every over. The Nsonga Royals, as they wait for a bad over to target and maximize.
Same happened in the first innings. Boundaries in short supply.
Good fielding. Mudola Edgar has really making the shifts. The ball coming quick to him, but he manages to anticipate it so well, and he manages to cut off that one to no run. More 2 balls to complete the over. Peter Ochen with another good placement, playing it straight. But Adam Uzaifa running in from long off and cutting that one off, keeping it to just 1 run.
Final ball of the over.
1 more ball in the over. Eric Matovu coming in to wrap up his spell. Hit by Doka Abdul Shakur. There was no fielder. That area being vacant, but no power coming in from that shot. Doka will only get a double. And that marks Eric Matovu's spell. 17 is given away in 4, but he's picked up 2 wickets. And after 13, 55 for 3 is the score. ...102 runs are needed in 42 balls for the Nsonga Royals to pick up victory. It's already a tough ask for them, because runs are not coming quick, thick and easy for them. They need to play some nothing shots and hope that Peter Ochen, who is on 26 of 23, sticks in there and scores more runs for the team.
Indeed, Ivan, a brilliant spell from Eric Matovu, picking up 2 wickets for 17 runs. Peter Ochen needing to go and to go now.
Derek Matov returning with the googly. I beg your pardon, Derek Okecho returning with the googly. It's just dotted down. He wanted to offer, but later on he saw that the ball was coming slow to him and he just dabs it down. They are awaiting fielders deep mid wicket and longer on. Peter Ochen swinging hard, but he goes across the line. He wants to go to the onside instead of trying to open up the blade. And now I see a fielder being introduced in at slips in Adamu Zaifa to add some more pressure to Ochen.
Those dot balls resulted into that reckless shot from Ochen, trying to go big.
Another googly coming in from Derek Okecho, just drifting it away from him. And it's another dotty ball. Peter Ochen going for power instead of timing.
A very interesting matchup there. And as you said, it would be best advised to play it on the offside because that ball is going across his body and there are men out in the deep for the shot he's trying to play.
4 dot balls on trot and 2 to play in the over. He swings sometimes but doesn't time well. Any edge to the waiting hands of Haddad Chiberu. The dot ball pressure gives the Ssenyi Warriors another wicket, and it's the dangerous Peter Ochen to depart.
Great work from Derek Okecho, dotting in the first 4 balls, brings one in quicker, and the frustration from Ochen manages only to find the man at mid-wicket. Brilliantly crafted wicket for the Ssenyi Warriors.
Haddad Chiberu, not a very good fielder, but on your bad day, we do say in Uganda that on your bad day, cold food can choke you.
Haddad will disagree with you completely. He has put in a shift, picking up the wickets, cutting off the runs, and what more could you ask from the man? Reputations are there to be built and put down, and Chiberu on his way to building a better reputation.
But what a fine over there, from Derek Okecho. 4 dot balls and a wicket on the 5th ball of Peter Ochen. Dejected Peter Ochen because he knows he's left a lot of work for the other batters to do. Look, Abudishakul not looking so well poised, 4 off 8. But the debutant will be the new batter in, Emmanuel Okwalinga.
Okwalinga, man with long levers, about to hit a good ball. He will have to navigate the final ball of this Okecho over.
Okecho will be hoping for a fine finish as he comes for the final ball. It will be a dot ball. Not sure why there was an appeal, but a wicket maiden over coming in from Derek Okecho. The lights even dimming further. More 102 needed in 36, and 55 for 4 is what the scoreboard reads after 14. It's the SABULA T20 Challenge Cup happening here at Florida. The Nsonga Royals taking on the Ssenyi Warriors. The Nsonga Royals won the toss and opted to bowl first, but they were a bit casual in their bowling display. Gave away so many runs in the infield. And the Ssenyi Warriors, with the second wicket stand of over 100 runs between Derek Okecho and Eddie Gamdola, saw them score 156 in the first 20 allotted overs of this game. 157 was the target, and now 102 is what is required in 36. Bowling change. Edgar Mdola comes into the attack. Spin to take on Mudola coming into the attack, replacing Eric Matov.
Good captaincy from Jackson Asiku, starting out with pace and then bringing on his spinners after a lot of pressure has been created. A misfield from Eric Matov brings Emma Okwalinga on strike. The innings of the Royals not kicking off. Balls fast spent. And the Warriors will not will not mind those singles. The required run rate rising further and further. Some running in between wickets now by the Royals. And you feel that it's a little bit too late for that. They need to go for power and find the big hits if they're to get any close to that total by the Warriors. The appeal comes in. Edgar Mudola datting that one in. Missed contact from Okwalinga. That ball drifting down the leg.
Yeah, some good umpiring there from the umpire. Clearly you would see that ball was going down the leg. Emmanuel Okwalinga going for a sweep shot, but not making contact. By runs. Another flighted ball by Edgar Mudola trying to ask Doka to hit. 4 runs in the over, and at the end of the 15th over, scoreboard reads 59 for 4. Current run rate 3.98, required 19.60, and 98 more runs are needed in 30 balls for the Nsonga Royals to pick up victory. At the back of a well-crafted over, a wicket maiden over, Derek Okecho returns for his third. 1 for 9 are his figures in 2 overs. Fine display with the ball. 1 of 3 Okwalinga, 6 of 12 Doka Abdushakur. The lights dimming out. A googly, well-timed by Emmanuel Okwalinga. It goes all the way to the bunker for a maximum. Good shot. Slog sweep, and manages to clear the boundary.
Ball is out of wickets, and certainly swinging his arms picks up the maximum.
Okwalinga announcing that it's not yet over. He goes for a maximum, but the next ball beats him completely. Should have just opened up his bat and looked for that placement. Good comeback from Okecho. Another loose googly. Nearly leading edge, but it will fall short of Edgar Mudola. Doka Abdushakur not sticking his behind foot in the crease. Tries to go for that glance, but doesn't connect. He will have that it didn't carry to the fielder. A bit loose, but that looked plumb straight, and Emmanuel Okwalinga misses his line. LBW, the umpire raises up the finger. Derek Okecho with another wicket.
Planted his feet well within the wickets, and umpire left with only one thing to do when that ball hit the pads, to raise his finger, trying to play across to one that is straight. Another wicket falls for the Nsonga Royals.
Yeah, when you look at that approach, he shuffled a little bit early, and he did not manage to make any contact. Brilliant umpiring there from Trevor Mark. More trouble for the Nsonga Royals. They have lost 5 wickets for just 67 runs. And Derek Okecho still has a ball in this over. $90 runs needed in 25 balls. That's one more delivery in this over. Derek Okecho with a fine spell. He's offer ball 2.5 overs, picking up 2 scalps and conceding just 17 runs. Doka Abdul Shakur on 7 of 13, but the required run rate is 21 because they're scoring 3 every over. They will need to make sure they accelerate if they are to keep in contention of winning this game.
It has been a muted approach from the Royals, you would say, right from the first innings. Their bowling was not up to scratch, left a lot to be desired concerning the fielding. Now they have come in and requiring to score at the beginning of this innings at a high rate, unable to do so, and the stranglehold is on now in the later overs.
Christian Mulindwa, the new man in, doesn't manage to get that one into the gap, and it will be a dot ball. The over started with the maximum, but there was a wicket of the man with the maximum, Emmanuel Okwalinga. And as they come to the end of the 16th, 67 for 5 is the score.
Edgar Mudola will continue from the Forest End, man who did good things in the first innings, joining the half-century club. Inventive shot, picks up boundary for going down on one knee, Abdul Shakur Doka.
Yeah, perfect timing there from Doka Abdul Shakur and managing to put it into the gap. Doka Abdul Shakur bringing up another boundary. And now Canning, Edgar Mudola trying to bowl it outside off stump. But it will be way out of the tram lines. Full toss, hit. It should go all the way for a maximum. Yes. Doka Abdul Shakur knows that Edgar Mudola is trying to buy a wicket, and he sends him all the way to the fences.
Flighted ball there, full toss. Doka Shakur swinging his arms through, picks up a maximum over deep mid-wicket. Now how does Mudola come back from that one?
It's turning out to be very interesting. 10 runs. Make it 11, make it 12, make it 13 in the over already for Edgar Mudola. A boundary 4, a boundary 16 plus a wide. 13 runs in the over. They needed a good over, and they are making sure that they target this over very well. But they will be happy that now it's Christian Mulindwa who is on strike. Tries to go for the drive but doesn't manage to put it into the gap. They will be happy that Doka is off strike. A quick one and another dot ball. Final ball of the over. Missed completely, and that dot ball marks the end of the over. After 17 overs, 79 for 5 is the score.
Derek Okecho to come in to bowl his final over of his spell, having snared 2 wickets so far. He's conceded 17. Lights 1 wide, and it continues well beyond the tram lines. Another one to tot up the extras column. Thick inside edge with Abdul Shakur Doka moving out of his crease, trying to get to the pitch of that ball. That edge keeping that ball away from the stumps. A greasy outfield has made gripping the ball hard for the spinners. Ball to a back of length, draws the man forward for no run, creating to dot. Caught in between minds, and they run quick. Attempted run out, missed by Boji Julius behind the stumps. Pick up 3 to add to the total of the Royals. Abdul Shakur Doka hesitant in his batting, caught in between going forward and going back. Flighted, finding the man. At mid-on. Mulindwa Christian yet to get off the mark after facing 6 deliveries. No ball indicated by the umpire and a free hit to Mulindwa Christian. Unable to find any gaps. Good ball from Edgar Mudola right within the wickets, cramping him for room. That dot ball completes the allotted overs for Derek Okecho. 2 for 22 in his 4 overs with an economy of just above 4. 18 overs completed. The score is 84 runs for the loss of 5. The Nsonga Royals need 73 in 12 balls if they are to achieve victory. Mulindwa Christian yet to score any runs yet. Having first 8 balls, and a look at the Manhattans, the worms truly well split, nowhere near each other. Bowling change from the forest end. Isaac Gift Ojam starts off with a dot ball. Doka slog sweeps that one. Picks up 2. and he should retain most of the strike for the remaining balls. See that they crossed the 100 runs mark for his side. Flighted, pulled well, over deep mid wicket for the boundary maximum. Isaac Gift guilty of not pitching that ball up. Opportunity to his right. The field closes in to the bowling of and Christian Mulindwa finally off the mark with that ball to the boundary. Swivels onto that one, finds the gap. The chase is in vain from Asiku Jackson, the captain of this Ssenyi Warriors. And it will be one ball to complete the over. Dots, the young man, 13 coming from that over. A better over for the Royals. Right now into the 90s. The score after 19 is 97 for the loss of 5. 60 runs needed in 6 balls. At a required run rate of 60 net to win. Abdul Shakur Doka 29 in 23 finally coming to the party, and Christian Mulindwa 4 in 10.
It will take a miracle of sorts if they do get the 60 runs. But cricket-wise and mathematically still possible. But Eddie Gamudola, who has been hunting for a wicket and is yet to get one, will be coming on to bowl the final over of this match. Dr. Abdul Shakur, 29 of 23. Christian Mulindwa, 4 of 10. 60 in 6. But there is another exciting clash in the afternoon between the Chitamba Sunrisers and the Kachanga Giants, as Eddie Gamudola comes in for the final over. Starts with the full toss. Dr. Abdul Shakur opening up his blade, and he will just manage a single.
Mulindwa has not had a lot of success putting bat to ball, but only managing to find fielders. Haddad, sorry, by a guy in some sort of trouble, that ball hitting his knee. The appeal comes in. Mulindwa playing back to a ball that is straight, trapping him plumb LBW, and another wicket falls for the Nsonga Royals. Very straight ball. Edgar Mudola doing good things in this contest. 1 wicket to go with his 70 plus runs. Playing early through was Christian Mulindwa, and that ball hitting his pads. Moses Achema comes in with 3 balls to complete the second innings.
Eddie Gamudola, because he had a fine batting display during the first innings of this game. He wanted to complement it with a fine bowling spell. Most of the runs he has been conceding was because he was trying to buy a wicket, because he knows he wants to walk away as the player of match, and he is already in contention. He gets a wicket finally, and it's a breather for him. He will be hoping that he can get another one with the remaining 3 deliveries in this innings.
All you can do is put up your hand for the awards that are available at the end of the match. And Mudola right there in the frame. 3 balls. Moses Achema, the new man in. A very close field set for him. Mudola targeting the leg stump. Leg by indicated by umpire Trevor Makchanja. Abdul Shakul Doka to navigate the next ball. Going inventive, trying to play reverse sweep. They managed to pick up umpire indicating that there must have been some part of the bat. And it is 1 ball to bring us to the completion of this match, in which the Warriors have been the better side. Moses Achema strikes 1 ball in anger, picks up 2, and with that ball dead, the match is completed. The Nsonga Royals managing to cross the 100 runs mark in the last over, and the Warriors walk away with a victory in this encounter.
They managed to cross the 100 runs mark, but in the end they don't manage to win the game. The Ssenyi Warriors winning that game by 54 runs. They clearly did everything good, but that's the batting card for the Nsonga Royals. 31 runs coming in from Doka Abdul Shakul, who has top scored in this match, and earlier 12 from Emmanuel Twijuche, and 26 of 28 by Peter Ochen. But in the end they fell short by just 54 runs in the quest of a victory. And the bowling card, 2 wickets apiece for Eric Matovu and Derek Okecho, and 1 wicket apiece for Austin Mujuni and Eddie Gamudola. And in the end, the Ssenyi Warriors picking up victory by 54 runs. The match summary right in your frame: 76 of 62 for Eddie Gamudola, 45 of 50 for Derek Okecho, in a game where the Ssenyi Warriors were asked to bat first by the Nsonga Royals, and they posted that formidable, respectable 156. We've come to the end of the game. I will be coming to you shortly with the post-match presentation. Make sure you keep it deep end. My name is Evan Cyprian Sajabi, and I was here with Solomon Chigozi Luwama.
Hello. Good